Okay, I'm so excited to have everybody here, and I know we're doing so great. So, I want to know those of you in Ikeja Hub, how many are you? Those of you in Ibadan, the Pesita, and the entire champions, how many are you? Those of you in Abuja, you are the only ones I cannot see one-on-one. How many of you are at the Abuja Hub? Somebody can just type. I'm looking at the chat. Just somebody, a representative should be there. And give me the numbers, okay? All right. Today I'm not using. It's going to be interactive. I'm not using slides. I'm just going to use my board and then show you a few things. I wanted to share this with you because I believe this is going to be helpful. Okay. Father, we thank you for this amazing time. We know the Holy Spirit is going to help us to ventilate ideas so that at the end of the day, we're going to be better off. In Jesus' name, amen. I'm asking God to help me, the Holy Spirit to help me to be able to convey what I have, because I there's something I want to give you guys. I had a meeting with one of my leaders this afternoon, and as we kept talking, there were a lot of ideas. So I'm just going to ask you guys a quick question. If you know the question, you answer it. If you don't know it, just... So Lagos is 18. I would like to know how many full-timers are in the other hubs. I know we have other hubs here. Jupiter is here. I think it's Ijebode. I need to know where other hubs, other people, where we are. I would like to know if First Stack is live. If First Stack is not live, then I don't know why. Once in a while, we'll do things like this. So, without wasting much time, I'm going to title this The Miracle of the Desk. The Miracle of the Desk. This has nothing to do with Bible. It's called The Miracle of the Desk. I wanted to call it the desk phenomenon, but then okay. I wanted to call it the desk phenomenon, but then I think we'll just leave it at the miracle of the desk. So a quick question, please. No side answers, no uncoordinated answers. Who can tell me? The Redeemed Christian Church, what are they into? The Redeemed Christian Church. Who can tell me? If you know it, just type. If you don't know it, just type. I'm looking at the chart, so I will see when you type something. The Redeemed Christian Church of God, RCG, one of the most amazing and well-established church body in Nigeria. Nobody's saying anything. Some of you are there now. So I know we have representatives in different hubs. Okay, Abuja, I can see you guys now. That's good. RCG, what are they into? If you know it, you type. If you don't, please, let's not waste time on this question. Okay? So nobody knows what they're into, the RCG, the Redeemed Christian Church of God. Nobody? Okay. The Catholic Church, what are they into? Okay, Fumi says that they are running a challenge. No. That's not what I'm looking for. The Catholic Church, the Catholic Church, what are they into? The RCG, what are they into? Who knows? Access Bank Nigeria, what are they into? If you know the answer, just type. There are several of you here. Okay, Eunice says professing Christ and showing people the way salvation. Okay. Yes, that's the primary thing they're into. That's RCG, Redeemed Christian Church. Yes. Access Bank finances, money-related issues. RCG is into planting churches. Okay. What about Catholic Church? Some of you didn't know that I spent 7 years in the seminary. Okay? Some of you don't know that. Yeah, I know it's a shock to some of you. Spent 7 years. To make at least a member of every family to be born again. Okay, Catholic Church into duplicating priests. Okay. None of you have gotten what I'm asking for yet. Okay, only one person got very close. McDonald's. What's McDonald's into? This is going to be one of the shortest meetings, but I will blow your minds sincerely. What is McDonald's into? McDonald's, the Big Mac. Food. Okay. All these big bodies I mentioned, they have a common denominator. Now, the RCG, one of the respected, one of the biggest churches in Africa, not even in Nigeria, in Africa, that church has achieved so much, and I have tremendous respect both for the GO and the members of the church. An amazing, amazing church that has done so much for the body of Christ. Amazing. What they've accomplished is amazing. The Catholic Church have done so much for the Christendom. So much, you have no idea. Okay, so much. Access Bank started from somewhere, and it was like a snowball effect. Recently they acquired Diamond Bank, but before then it was a merger of a group of banks that formed Access Bank, then acquired Diamond Bank. And Access Bank is a bank you can't joke with, one of the biggest right now in Africa. In fact, Access Bank has improved so much that even the ranking in the world has also improved. One of the biggest banks in Africa, that's the truth. Then the Big Mac, the foremost franchising business, the Big Mac, that's the McDonald's. Retail food, fast food, Big Mac pioneered a lot of things. But all these people, they do different things, but they have one common denominator. Who can tell me the common denominator? Please, no chorus answer. If you know the common denominator, please just type. Let me see if I'm going to have somebody get it here. Say the organization. Today is an opportunity for me to know the number of full-timers we have. The real full-timers, people that this is what they're doing, and they're doing this for full-time. It's not when it fits them or when they feel like it. Nobody knew about it, that we're going to gather like this. Okay, somebody says people, they're into people, and another said they're into leverage. All of you are right, but there's something I'm looking for. Now, the Redeemed Church, I don't know if this is what I'm about to say now is true, but somebody said, I heard that the Redeemed Church said that they are going to locate a church, pay 10, or square radius or something like that, or that they're going to have a church pay street, something like that. Or the whole idea is that they're going to have churches like every neighborhood, like every street, something like that. Now, McDonald's is like, there's no McDonald's in Nigeria yet. I didn't see any. I have not seen any. I've seen a variant of that in the Philippines. I've seen, in other countries I've been to, but not in Nigeria yet, because it's not cheap to bring McDonald's to buy the franchise, okay? Now, McDonald's is not into food business. McDonald's is into real estate, primarily real estate. The Catholic Church also has presence in every city, at least most cities of the world. Most cities of the world. It's a church, it's a faith, but it's also real estate. Access Bank, like I said, one of the crazy banks in Nigeria that's doing so well, rising and rising. Of course, Access Bank wasn't part of the old school. When I mean the old school, it doesn't mean, it's not a derogatory word actually. It's, when I mean old school, I mean the banks that's been there, done that, seen everything. The likes of First Bank, maybe Union Bank, But then Access Bank just came and is taking its world by storm. Access Bank has, if you just go to any major streets in major cities in Nigeria, you see an Access Bank, Access Bank building. So Access Bank is also doing banking, but primarily, I want to believe they're doing real estate. And finally, the Catholic Church is also real estate because, you have properties everywhere and all of that. Redeemed Christian Church of God, real estate as well. So what exactly am I saying? How do we attach this to what we're doing, our business? It's still the same old factor, presence. You see, all of you are full-timers. Even though we have full-timers who really, really want to change their lives and full-timers who are just flowing with the wind. But the difference there is positioning, presence. The fact that if you want to buy something, you are better off, you are more comfortable when you know that the people you want to buy from, there's a location. Say, where are you guys located? When people are doing adverts or when people are talking about what they are doing, they say, we are located at so and so place. If you come there, you'll see us. How do you quickly know a company? Okay, now in this era, we have a lot of banks that not really have a location, but they are registered with the governing bodies, they're registered with NDIC, they're registered with the CBN and all of that, but then they still have some sort of location, even if it's everything is online, but they will still have some sort of location, Why? Because presence is important. God created human beings to have belly-to-belly activities, belly-to-belly interaction. That was why during the lockdown, a lot of people died. Because, how am I supposed to be indoors for 90 days, 120 days, 2 years, that kind of thing? People were alarmed. Because for the first time in the history of the world, I want to believe, the modern world, we're asked to just stay. Okay, somebody said every 5 minutes walk, a redeemed church. Awesome. Real estate. But remember that it's about God, it's about spreading the gospel. But then they understood something, that you have to come into a place where people can come in and interact. Even the Bible says, do not neglect the assembling of the brethren. It's important. In as much as we can do Zoom and Zoom and Zoom and Zoom, online interactions, nothing beats belly to belly. Imagine playing UEFA Champions League on Zoom. My goodness. Imagine playing the World Cup on Zoom. Like, how are you gonna do that? Imagine there's a reason it's called theater. Like, let me go and see a movie in the cinema. The idea of people are gathered there, big screen, the feeling is different. It's so different. At any point, you cannot hear me properly, somebody should alert me. I'm trying to be as loud as possible. Okay? Why is it so important that human beings should interact? Because we are social animals. God created us to interact. It's in interacting with your fellow human being that you feel their pulse. You understand? That's how it works. Go out there, dominate, increase, multiply, subdue. You have to be out there. And so any businesses are run now. We can have virtual businesses that people can do and then. But somebody will still have to deliver something to you. The delivery person still has to send it. You understand? Logistics and all of that. The shipping industry, you know how it is. Someone out there still has to send those packages, though you bought them online and you interacted online. But there still has to be a sort of interaction, point to point. Why am I talking like this? What's the essence of all of this in our business, in our connected business? The essence is that if you say you are a full-timer, hold on to that thought. Let me show you a scenario, then I will close. Now, some of you that are not in Nigeria or were not born in Nigeria, even in the US, even in the UK, these things are also applicable to other countries. Now, it begins with hawking. You guys know what's hawking? Hawking is you're carrying something on your head. Hawking, you're hawking stuff. So let me see if I can share my screen. So you want to hawk something, right? When you're hawking stuff, it's likened to the word of mouth advertising. I believe you guys are following me. Please follow me closely. So you are talking to people about your business, maybe sending them the videos or the third party and all of that, and they are going through it. And you don't have any location. You're just doing the business. It's online. You believe me that if you are hawking, even though right now we have tools, we have online tools through which you can meet a lot of people, but your closing ratio will not be as solid as the person who is going to step up a bit higher. This is also the reason when we have big events, the big events, we use a place, we use a location, because when we come together, that's energy. Though we might have big events online, virtual, but it's never the same. The passion, the energy is not the same, okay? And that's why you can try to sell someone online, but you will need to run it like several times. Maybe you're advertising something, you need to do it up to 12 times for you to catch someone's attention. But if it's belly to belly, it's faster. So if you're hawking and that's your primary way of doing this business, you will not have the same result as someone who goes a little step higher. So we'll call this person roadside vendor. In our business, a roadside vendor is akin to, I hope you guys are, I hope this is making sense to you. A roadside vendor is akin to someone who has, say, a cubicle. You just have a cubicle, one small roadside. Now, the good thing about roadside is, now, do you remember this? Somebody is trying to sell you some things. You can't see someone hawking on the road who doesn't have a place, and you give the person a certain level of a certain amount of money. There are things you can't buy from a hawker. You can't spend serious money with someone who is hawking. Yeah, you could spend, let's say, 1,000 naira, 2,000 naira. You can't really spend 10,000 naira on someone who is hawking. You get? I don't know what that is in other currencies, but then maybe it's high time the dollar is used against the naira. When it's high time the naira becomes the reserve currency of the world. So that if you have the dollar, you're trying to figure it out in naira. Do you understand? You can spend 1,500, 2,000 on the roadside on someone who's hawking, a street hawker. But when someone has a roadside place, like this suya person, this shawarma person is always there, that roadside is a makeshift place. But at the end of the day, the person leaves. But tomorrow, the person will come back to that same roadside. You could spend 5K, you could spend 3K, knowing that should anything go wrong, there's a higher chance of meeting this person there. And you know that you see somebody hawking, the person could be anywhere. You know, the chances of the person running away with your money is very high for a hawker. But roadside, at least to some extent, the person is there. So roadside is akin to, or could be, could be the same person who also operates in our business, and the person has a roadside and the person has a Kopigo. His roadside will not make as much money, and who's going to take it a little bit, just a notch higher. And what am I talking about? So we'll call this person corner shop. Corner shop person, corner shop. In our business, a corner shop is like someone who has a table space. Table space. I hope this is making sense. Now, when you see someone has a corner shop, the shop is not big, but the shop is there. There's roof. If it's raining, rain doesn't beat the person. But of course, the person hawking, the rain will beat the living daylights out of the person. The person who is on the roadside, the rain also beats the person because it's a roadside, In fact, there are roadsides that when you have tax forces coming in, they have to move their things and all of that. But the corner shop is actually maybe a corner shop with a house, a structure, just a corner shop. If it's raining, the person, it's a very small place, but the person can actually shelter inside there and the rain will not beat the person. And a corner shop person is someone you can spend up to 10K, 10,000, 15,000. You can buy 3 bottles of wine, knowing that this person will always be there. Person can run away. And the person has invested much more in his or her business because it's a corner shop. So corner shops cost more, both in rent and in everything, much more than the roadside and the hawking. So the input, the money the person is putting into the business for a hawker is very little. And the person can decide that tomorrow I'm not going to hawk again. A roadside person can decide tomorrow, I beg, let me go and get something doing. A corner shop person has some level of resistance, meaning that they have this level of staying power. They can't just decide that tomorrow I am not doing anymore. Of course, it's not as easy compared to a hawker or a roadside person. A corner shop is a table space. So I keep moving. A corner shop will make money, but the money they're putting into their business is a reflection of what they make. Likewise, the hawker, likewise, roadside person. Now, the corner shop person will make more money or much more than the hawker and roadside. However, a corner shop will not make as much money as the next person who takes the next level of faith, a step of faith. I'm talking about the person who decides to move into what I refer to as the mini-mart. The mini-mart. The mini-mart person is going to make much more. So who is this mini-mart guy I'm talking about? Mini-mart, mini-market, mini-mart. In our business, a mini-mart person could be someone that the person has an office, but the office is a very small office. An office that can take about maybe 10 people, that can take about 5 to 10 people. So it's a small. You will agree with me. You will agree with me that the mini mart is going to spend more money than the corner shop. Okay. Mini mart is, there's a bit of decoration, there's flower on the table, there's a table for you, and there's a few seats for people for you to show them the business. Maybe a 14-inch television, maybe a 14-inch. The 14-inch would be too small. Maybe a 21-inch. A small office is a place where, okay, we're starting something, but it's showing progress, but you are not there yet. Okay. I hope this is making sense. The more money you spend in your business, on your business, is more money you're going to make. Because the money you spend on your business is a reflection of the faith you have in the business. And the reflection of faith you have in the business shows how much money you qualify for, how much success you qualify for. You understand? We can Measure your commitment level by the money you put into it. They say where a man's treasure is, there also his heart will be. Okay. So you could be saying, in this business, I want to make 500,000 naira. And I will ask you quickly, like, do you have a corner shop? Like, because if you're going to make it 500,000 naira, the least if you have is a corner shop, you don't have a corner shop. How are you going to do that? You cannot make 500,000 because the elements of the world, everything is going to go against you. Your faith, your faith, I can't see, show me your faith by your action. Your actions are not showing your faith. So you can't make 500,000. Everything will go against you. You can't make 500,000. That's why some of you come to me, you say some things. I look at you and I tell you it will not happen. Why? Because there is nothing to show it's going to happen. You get it? So let's move on. I hope this is making sense. I hope I'm not talking to myself. Now, the corner shop person, who is the minimat, by the way, the corner shop person is a table space person. And after the corner shop, the person who is now above the corner shop is the minimat. In our business, it's a small office, okay? It's a small office. But then, ahead of the small office is someone who decides to, instead of me operating a minimat, let me get a supermarket. So I call it a supermarket. A supermarket. Now, the supermarket is the same in our business as an office that also has a presentation. You have an office, but also has an adjoining presentation. So the difference between a small office and yours is that both your small office, both your table and presentation is inside one small place. But the supermarket, you have a different office. You come out of the office, then you see the big presentation. Now, it might not be big, but it could take maybe about 18, maybe about 20 people, maybe about 30 people. Okay. But the minimat has just your table and about 5 chairs to 10 chairs where you can do some things. But then you can be inside the office and you're not seeing the people seated at the presentation hall. So you go into the presentation hall. When you're done, you move into your office. The people who want to now engage with you, they will now leave the office itself and come into your own office where you sit down and engage with them and get them started. That's the difference between a minimat and supermarket. Now, supermarket, of course, is much more expensive. No, not expensive. In fact, the word expensive is not very good for people like us. In the scale of, but you understand what I'm trying to say. The supermarket will take a higher level of input. Okay, it will require more money for you to set up a supermarket than it will require for you to set up a minimat. Yeah, but then if you are saying I want to be a monthly millionaire and you are on supermarket, it's going to happen. It's going to be automatic. It's going to happen. Why? Because your commitment level will be higher. You put in more money, so there's no way you're not going to become a monthly millionaire. There's no way. Why? Because you put in more money, you put in more commitment, and you cannot look at your commitments and your money go down the drain. It's going to require something from you. So you're going to become, in fact, sometimes if you feel you do not have a capacity to do certain things, you can rig yourself into it. What do I mean? You are looking at yourself, I may not have what it takes for me to maybe operate a supermarket. You could start from a minimat, okay? Or for some people, they will have to put themselves in a situation like, I don't know how to swim, but then for some reason you land inside an ocean, a body of water. You have to swim. Otherwise, you are dead. Okay. Now, if you're a supermarket person, you have an office that has a presentation office and move to the next level. I need to be doing multiples of millions. Like I need to have people in my team who are making money, like they are millionaires, multi-millionaires. Then you have to move to the next level. And the next level here is megamats. Next level here is megamats. Okay, that's where you see some G8 leaders and all of that, or not even G8 leaders. You see some leaders who are coming up who are not G8 leaders, but they're doing very well. You have what is called the megamats. The megamats. So I'll show you what a megamat is. It's very simple. A megamat. Megamat in our business is office complex. Or we have different kinds of office complex. Office comp. An office complex is where you come into a plaza and you have about 5 to 10 offices, and all of them are in one particular team. That's an office complex. Now, mega mart, office mart, these are for people who want to move away from 2 million naira every month to 5 to 10 million or 10 million naira. Now, if you have a complex and you have just one major presentation hall and you have other small offices, it's not a mega mart. A mega mart is an office complex that has several offices, that has several supermarts. A mega mart is an office complex or a structure that has supermarts. And what is a supermart? Supermart is you have offices with adjoining presentation halls, offices plus adjoining presentation halls, and you have that up to like 10 to 20, up to like 10 to 20. Okay, I know by now some of you already know where you belong. So a megawatt person cannot be doing less than 5 to 10 million naira. In fact, I dare say, if you know what you are doing and you're doing the right thing, you should be doing at least 10 million naira. That is what it should be. If you're doing the right thing. Now, if you're not doing the right thing, that's fine. But then, if you have a mega mart, you have to be doing at least 1 million naira weekly. That's what it is, at least 1 million naira weekly. So you know where you belong now, right? And you're a full-timer. And for some of you, quite unfortunate, some of you are still at the hawking level. Some of you are still at the hawking level where you're not making money, or where you're pushing and wondering why. Now, when your people join the business, a few of those people that will join the business, they are not motivated to open an office. They're not motivated to go full-time. They're not motivated to sit down on a desk and run the business because you don't have a desk. You're not showing example. You're not a bad example. You're actually a bad example. You're not showing them examples. You don't have a place you can even just sit and then attend to them. You are walking around. You are jumping from one place to the other. If there's any major thing happening, you don't have a stake. You don't have a stake. You're just an inconsequential person who is just moving around, flowing with the wind. If there's a major breeze, maybe there's a wind, a strong wind, it will carry you and carry what you're selling. And that is why those are the people that are the first casualties. My parents are saying I'm not doing well. My parents are doing this and all of that. You don't have a table. You don't even have a cubicle. You don't have a table space. Yes. You don't have it. You're not sheltered at all. If anything happens in the market, the casualties are usually people who are hawking. You don't have anything. Because the sun is beating you, the rain is beating you, you're falling sick, you're looking old, and you don't have shelter from the elements. Every bad thing happens to a hawker. And the bad thing about it is a hawker can hawk for 10 years and still be hawking. A hawker is not different from the person outside of the building begging for alms. There's no difference. You can be hawking for 20 years and you are still. I went back to University of Ibadan after how many years? Nearly 2 decades. And I saw some people that the first time I came to that place, I saw them begging. They were still there. Why? And the sun of over almost 20 years has beaten them. Imagine that. Hawkers are the casualties. Hawkers die. Anything can happen. Anything can happen. If anything goes wrong, those of you that rely only on word of mouth, as you can see, rely only on word of mouth. That's it. Anything can happen. Word of mouth is emotional. I feel like it. I am hungry. I'm not going to do anything. You do word of mouth only when you've done every other thing. But if you have, at least if you're roadside, you have a place, you go there, you report there after work or something, you're even doing something. But if you're a full-timer, God forbid that you're not transiting from roadside to corner shop. The minimum is that you are moving from roadside to corner shop. Anybody who's a full-timer who is serious has to be minimum requirements corner shop. Minimum requirement. A roadside is the person that is sharing one cubicle with another person. 2 people sharing one cubicle. Both of you are hawkers. Both of you combined are hawkers. How can you make calls in one cubicle? Say that you pay for one cubicle. Now you see why you are sabotaging your efforts. You see, the Bible says, forever, O Lord, your word is settled. See, God has created laws. God can sleep, go and sleep, and everything will work. You don't need to be a Christian or a Muslim for gravity to act on you. Jump through the window and gravity will happen. Now, let me tell you something. It does not matter whether or not you believe in gravity. According to my brother, Vusi Tembapayo, He says that whether you believe in gravity or not, you will find out quickly how much gravity believes in you. You'll find out quickly when you jump. Are you guys getting what I'm saying? So this is not a case of ambassador. I've been able to hide for 1 year, ambassador. I'm not paying for cubicle. Cubicles. I'm not paid for table space, and I'm still here. Sometimes you need to use your brain. You're using your brain to rob yourself. I see some of you and I laugh. You're using your brain to rob yourself. Let me ask, all of you that have worked in the bank, is there any of you here that does not have a desk or a table space or a cubicle? Is there anybody here that does not have a side cubicle or table space or anything? You can't do anything meaningful without a table space. Doesn't matter who you are. So why are you shortchanging yourself? Why are you lying to yourself? Why are you stealing from yourself? Some of you have been in this business for 4 years, 3 years. You don't have a table space. Is it your village people that are doing this to you? Your village have vowed you will never come out of, and you are agreeing with them. This is the miracle of the desk. I thank the Holy Spirit for it. Didn't even break it down for me like this when I saw it, but now it's making a lot of sense. So you want to move to the next level. You ask yourself, where am I supposed to be? Which one is my what? What you are making now is exactly what you're supposed to be making. You know why? Because you've chosen on the left side where you feel you belong. And some of you are supposed to be superstars. Unfortunately, you are playing with the chickens or the chicks. You're a full-timer. I said this before. A full-timer is supposed to produce 36 codes every month, minimum. Now, let's even say, okay, fine, how am I going to do it? The only way you can move people to get to that point where they can make substantial income, the only way you can make substantial income that will place you far above every other person in your family, far above every other person amongst your circle of friends. The only way you can make money that you can use to solve problem, tangible problem, is for you to be on supermat level. You must be on supermat level. If you're a full-timer and in 1 year and 6 months, you are not at supermat level, you're a disgrace to this profession. You're a disgrace to this profession. The minimum anybody who wants to be a millionaire should aspire to be moving away from mini-mat to supermat. And then you have a few people. If you're a full-timer and after 12 months, you don't have an office that can contain 10 people, 15 people, and you have your own table. I don't mean a table space, so I mean your own, is it 10 by 10 or whatever? You have a table, and then where your people can even come and make calls, where you can sit and do some mini training for your people. If you don't have something like that after 1 year of going full-time, no wonder your family, they are saying you don't know what you're doing now. That's why your family, they don't have respect for you. This meeting is not for everybody, because some people are supposed to get angry. Some people are supposed to maybe quit the business after this training. Maybe. Some of you are supposed to get angry at me. Some of you are supposed to be pissed. Please be pissed. If being pissed at me will help you become you're supposed to be and stop being an nonentity in this business, so help you God. I'm talking to those of you. You have burnt the ship, killed the captain, and you've not taken a flight. This is the reason. Ask anybody that used their hard-earned money to open an office. It's not a joke. It's not a joke. It's not easy. Or joke. Ask anybody. They will tell you, some of them will drink curry after doing this. But guess what? God is a faithful God. God is a God of justice. God is the rewarder of those who diligently seek Him. God is the God that He looks at your faith through the mirror of your action. You can say, I have faith, and you are not acting accordingly. Do you understand? There is a way to conduct yourself when you say you're in faith. Faith has what is called corresponding actions. If you don't have corresponding actions, you are fooling yourself. When you see people, they use their money and pay for table space, they're saying, God, I told you I'm going to do this. This is my proof that I want to do it. Support my business, bless the works of my hand. If somebody has a table space that can sit down and entertain, let me show you the business. As he's showing the business, he's turning to the other person, closing the person down. When he's done, he's making calls. You can't make as much money as the person who has a table space when you're just a hawker, or you are two of you sharing a cubicle. Now, are you saying that somebody will not start somewhere? No, but I've shown you now. Some of you have been hawking, and in your mind, you are saying, I'm a full-timer. And you are confessing, I'm a billionaire creator. It will never happen if you don't follow this step and you calculate it, and you are telling yourself, I must leave this hawking level. It's not a crime to be a hawker using only word of mouth. But a time must come when you must move. Because even when you convince people with word of mouth and they want to take the business seriously, where are they going to start the business? But if you have a corner shop and you've brought in people through word of mouth, they will come to your office, they relax. And they'll say, Nne, this thing you are doing is serious. So for you to even have an office, this thing is serious. You are teaching them that they must take a flight. They must take the next step. Not when they are looking at you, you don't have a shop, you are just hawking. And they're like, what kind of business did I put myself into? You're a hawker and you think you're going to, even if somebody helps you to close down a megaverse person or a technoverse or somebody who starts with $500,000 or $1 million naira, do you think they'll do the business? When they come, you're not in the office. When they go, you don't have a place. Like, honestly, from where you are, or you must on purpose move yourself to where you must be. Your faith, corresponding action that shows us your faith, is in starting and moving. You're making money or eating your money because you're not the person paying for the office. You don't even contribute to power, to light. And some of you are hawkers, but because you don't have a table space or cubicle. Meanwhile, you come to the hub, they do presentation for your people in the hub. Sometimes you come in there with somebody will close them down for you. Somebody is waiting for you, tell the person, go to so and so office, wait for me, I'm coming. And you are waiting to be told to pay for the utility bills. That is why you're not growing. Because in your mind, I'm not using the office, even though you're making money. How would God allow you to continue to make money in a place where you are not partaker? You don't partner. You're not a partner. You just come, you're just taking. You're not giving. And you say you're a full-timer. You be a full-timer, see a full-timer. 10 years. And some of you are bringing shame to the profession. An amazing business profession that frees people from the shackles of poverty. But because you will not play by the rules, you're at home. I don't have a table space. I don't have a corridor. You're at home, a full-timer at home, using your mouth. What kind of full-time are you? Have you ever seen a bank worker that resumes at home full-time? Have you ever seen a manager of any organization or someone who wants to make it big? Person is at home. Michael Jordan, Shebi will go home and be playing basketball. Messi and Ronaldo will be doing monkey post at home behind the house. And that's how they became world class. You must show up. Maybe now you're still a hawker, but you show up. You come to the office, what can I do? Let me sweep the office. Let me mop the office. What can I do? Can I contribute to the power? What can I do? I know that somebody's paying for this office, but I made some money. Can I just drop, like, say, 2K? Add it to whatever is happening in the office. What can I do? Can I recharge the light? Corresponding actions, and God is seeing you. In 2020, I wanted to buy a car for the business, and the person was supposed to facilitate it. It wasn't the first time the person facilitated it for me, but somehow the money disappeared, the car did not show up. I was feeling really, really bad because I knew the amount of money that went with it. Now, that was the season we were trying to do the white car parade. All my colleagues had all bought their white cars. I was the only one without a white car. And guess what? When somebody buys a car, I will pay for the fuel. I will send fuel money to the person. That was also the same thing Ambassador Mike Okoro did for me. I believe it was the first person or the only person actually that did that. You know, there's something about aligning yourself. Aligning yourself. You want to be part of what is happening. You align yourself. I was just my senior colleagues, my colleagues at my level, even people that I was above those people. They buy a car, I will celebrate them, buy fuel for them. 5K fuel, sometimes 10K, sometimes 20. You understand? I was doing that because I knew I was feeling bad. But that would, blessing someone, praying for the person will help you, you know. And that's where we got ourselves. So my brothers, my sisters, I would love to continue, but time is up. You ask yourself, where do you really, really belong? What do you really want? This year is a year to sieve out the chaff from the wheat. Separate the boys away from the men, the ladies. Move away. You know what you want. So we keep thanking God who keeps opening our eyes to these truths. And with that, you know where you belong. And you ask yourself, am I ready? I had wanted us to take some questions, but it's already on top of the hour. So if you have any question, we are all in different WhatsApp hubs, so you can drop your questions there. So thank you so much, everyone. I believe we got some value from this. I appreciate all of you.